Let's face it, the connection between Roblox and Pokemon was broken a long time ago. The two will never coexist in the same environment, and for a very simple reason. From a business standpoint, it is ill-advised to allow a lesser party to make money off of a greater power. The money itself is not the issue. It is the principle behind it. It has always been the principle. If you are an artist who makes a living off of commissions and someone else makes a tracing of your art but in different colors, they are still selling the same thing. And that is money you could have made. I am not saying that these titles shouldn't have existed at all. Project Pokemon and Brick Bronze were the two main games I played growing up. I am just clarifying why they got taken down. And as many people have said before, it wasn't a matter of if, it was always a matter of when. Of course, that is not to say the memories have gone completely. The people behind Project Pokemon have developed Doodle World, and Loomian Legacy can be considered the next Brick Bronze. Doodle World retains some aspects from Project Pokemon while still maintaining an independent art style. It really proves how creative Roblox can be, and I personally believe that this game does things better than the original. As you can see, I have played this game a lot, and Loomian Legacy has given a whole new meaning to these sorts of games. It is very expansive and gives players a lot to do and explore. I really appreciate how this game handles the battles. It gives more of a challenge as opposed to just spamming the same attacks over and over. This animation is also very clean. Even with all of that, those games can't make up for the amount of time and money lost. The reason why Project Pokemon and Brick Bronze were cherished is because they were associated with properties we're familiar with. We already have a connection with Pokemon, but fresh interpretations such as Loomian's aren't as familiar. We enjoy the aspect of trading Pokemon. We like hunting for legendaries and flexing our spoils to those less fortunate. We relish in the activity of catching them all. And that brings us into the main point of today's video. Recently, Roblox has had its fair share of accounts releasing uncopylocked versions of Brick Bronze under fake titles. These never last long. Roblox always shuts them down. But since the game was copied, anyone could upload Brick Bronze back up and make money off of it. These copies are usually hacked to bits, and they usually exist to leech off our nostalgia. And why wouldn't they do that? It's a foolproof solution that can't fail, because Brick Bronze has been copied ever since it was taken down. But here is the problem. Unless you abide by the rules of these accounts, you will not be able to have your data saved. For example, this claims to be a Grow a Pocket Monster game, but it really is just Brick Bronze. This seems like your typical Brick Bronze experience, but it really is not. When you go to the Pokemart, you are greeted with this shop option that gives you these Pokemon that cost way too much Robux. None of these are worth your money. And if you are confident that your data will be saved and carry over, the only way you can save your data is by joining this account's Discord server. If you don't have Discord, you are just throwing your money away. This one Pokemon is worth over 2,000 Robux. That is over $20 real for one in-game purchase. In the state of our economy, that is absurd. You could buy 20 boxes of dollar store Pop-Tarts with that money. Another thing most people forget about Brick Bronze is that the story was never completed. It had an overall narrative that was never finished because it was discontinued. Project Pokemon didn't really have a story. That game focused more on the catching Pokemon aspect, but with every copy of Brick Bronze that comes out, they will all suffer the same lack of conclusion. But there is a title not many players recognize called Destinies Reborn. It is a simple game that actually has Pokemon walking around and behaving like actual entities. And the most important thing to note is that there are no purchases. This game does not have a store. The only way to advance in this game is through skill, which is why it has remained on Roblox for as long as it has. Which is a shame because this game has remained under the radar for a while. Now, let's talk about the more blatant offenders. Pokemon Go. We all know Heaven Logan's game by heart. You're floating around a nameless city on a heart balloon trying to catch as many Pokemon as possible. It was also copied and re-released under several different accounts. And just like the original, they all perished. I played one of these copies on my channel a while ago. It played exactly the same as the original, except it wasn't, and it tried so hard to be the original, but overall, it didn't last long. That's when obscure variations, such as Monster Mongo, rose to the surface. It is Roblox Pokemon Go, for those who never got to experience it. But again, even though these games are easily accessible, the mass majority want to stick with titles they are familiar with. Because Roblox is free, and the games included are free. Getting actual hardware costs money, and no one wants to pay for something they can get for free. So what does this mean for the future? I speculate that these games will continue to get re-released for the foreseeable future. People are getting more creative with these matters, and unless Roblox truly puts their foot down, nothing will happen. Money is still being lost on the Pokemon company's end, and that's what we have to remember. I don't want to make things up that probably won't come true, but I wouldn't put legal action off the list of potential possibilities. If you want to keep playing these, by all means do so. Just be wary of what you're spending your money on. If it were me, I would choose those 20 boxes. The cookies and cream Pop-Tarts are divine. And this situation applies to every Roblox title that uses Pokemon sprites and assets. Even Pokemon-themed obbies and tycoons are affected by this. But of course, we already knew that. But what do you think? Are we going to keep copying the same games for the next 10 years? Will Roblox even exist in 10 years? I would like to know your thoughts on this matter, so do not hesitate to leave your comments down below. But hey, even if Pokemon and Roblox can't live together, at least we still have titles such as Speedrun and Normal Elevator to come back to. Well, I would hope that you learned something from this. What was lost can never be rebuilt, even if we want to rebuild it. All we can do is wait and continue to play these copied titles until we run out of accounts. As always, you're audience is greatly appreciated. Sleep well.